Alright guys, how you doing? Ronin man here. A few days off there. I'm here in IKEA and today's video is about how a house should be made for a man, right? So when you walk around the furniture store, you usually see babies and it's generally you see a lot of kids when you go to a furniture store, and you see a lot of couples, right? It's mainly couples, babies, things like that, right? Everybody's either has a baby or is getting ready to have a baby, and that's why they're buying all this stuff. But like, look at this stuff in here, right? How much of this stuff do you want in your house? It's my theory is that most of furniture and housing is made for women, designed for women, made for women. And like MGTOW is like, if you're gonna be a man going your own way, you got to think about how your house looks, because most houses, like even the room design, is all designed for families. That's the whole point of most houses. Houses is mainly for women. Like all these cabinets and everything. There's all these little things. There's like cabinets everywhere. Like personally, like I hate like glass doors because then I have to open them, right? I don't like cabinets. I really like my place in Tokyo. I had it totally MGTOW'd out. And I had no furniture except for a really nice expensive bed. Then I had those racks that I'll see if I can find them in the video here, but they're basically racks that you put computer servers on and stuff. Like when you like at a server farm, they're very flexible. Like you can make them any size, any height, and my shelves could carry 600 pounds, right? So you never had to clean them ever, because we'll find these racks. Let's see if we can find these racks. But you can just see the clientele that comes into a place like this, right? It's all women, families. Actually, if you want to fuck a girl, the great first date is take her to IKEA, because you can pretend like you're gonna get married, and then the girl gets all wet, and then you take her home and fuck her. That's 100% success rate for me whenever I take girls to IKEA. But taking that like a cold, like a MGTOW view of this thing, like what of this stuff do you want in your house? Like, this just goes on for like acres, right? This is not exactly what I want, but this kind of stuff, right? Because you don't have to clean it, right? You don't have to dust it, and it's waterproof. And the ones I'm looking for is more like the ones I had in my house. They were more like these kind of things, but they're made of this, and they're like, you could put 600 pounds on each shelf. So if I had like, whatever I had, something really heavy, I could put it on every shelf, or I could put lightweight stuff on there, but I never had to clean anything in my house. But most of these things, like when you walk around any of these furniture stores, it's like all you see is the same thing over and over. Families, kids, kind of bored husbands, basically simps. So guys who are, this is what you see at an IKEA. You see a lot of weak guys buying a lot of expensive things for women. And you see women in charge here. You can see the women make the decision. The guys can look at stuff, but in the end, it's women making the decision here, 100%. And everything in the whole store is designed for women. And it's very popular with women. So they're buying all these little things. And what I found with women do is they fill my house up with garbage that I don't need. And that garbage, it's not a small thing. Like, it's not a meaningless thing. Like, if you fill your house full of stuff that requires maintenance, cleaning, dusting, moving, this shit weighs your life down, right? It really does. It makes your life like more complicated, Like, I do not want any of this stuff in here. None of this stuff. I want a house that's basically designed for 4 things. And one of them is, the most important, is probably fucking. So basically a house that's good for seduction. It's designed to get, for example, when the girl walks in the front door, the design of the house itself and the furniture is designed to take her panties off as quickly as possible. That's a very, very important thing in my house. Because if I don't have that, what's the point of the house? You know what I mean? Because you can sleep anywhere you want, right? But I want like a house that I want to live in, right? So that's one thing, seduction, right? Sleeping is another one. I want a nice quiet place that I can sleep like a baby. So I don't want a lot of light in my bedroom. I want it to make it very, very dark, right? And I want a place to make money. So I need fast internet. I need, you can see the consultations here, always women in charge, always women in charge. The guys can look at stuff, but we all know who makes the decision on all this stuff. That is the females, you know? But as a MGTOW, think about your house, because your house is, it really, you know, architecture, I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but architecture creates behavior, you know? So that's why companies that want to improve their productivity of their workforce, they get designers in there that are professionals at user interface, so that it's comfortable and you want to work in the, you know, office and get more done, right? You don't want to like more clutter. Like for me, like this kind of garbage, like this is why when there's an earthquake, so much stuff falls on people and people die, because there's so much garbage in most people's houses. It's just garbage, just endless fucking garbage. People buying fucking garbage, replacing garbage, cleaning garbage, moving garbage around. You know, this is, and this becomes your life, guys. If you design your house, if you let some woman design your house, you're gonna have a life full of chores. Everything in here is chores to me. You know, the design of everything. It's like everything needs to be cleaned all the time, moved around all the time, replaced, fixed, you know, everything you can think of. It's just like endless garbage in the house, you know. If you've ever had to leave a house quickly for whatever reason, like move quickly, or you were transferred, you didn't have much time, you realize, you know, how much garbage you have in your house, right? And then you just ended up throwing it away, right? Stuff that you maybe considered, you know, when you're younger, you were living life with less thinking. You were just kind of like following everybody else and copying everybody else, right? You know, I think a lot of people in here, all they do is they walk in here and they see what humans buy and they copy them. So people come in here and they buy whatever other people are buying. And I actually think it's even worse than that. I think that people have babies because they see that the house has a small bedroom. You know, like it affects your mind. Like, what is a house, right? What is a house? A house, for most houses, are for families. That's it. They're for families. Guys don't care about this stuff. Guys could care less about any of this stuff in here. You know, it's just the way guys are. I mean, for me, I could care less. You know, all I want is I want a place to make money. I want a place to sleep. I want a place to fuck, right? And what else? Let's see. So, sex, money, sleep. I had one more thing, purpose of the house. But basically, that's most of it right there. You know, so start thinking about your house. Start being proactive. Stop. I really recommend stop sleepwalking through life. When you walk in a place like this, like I said, you can use IKEA as a great place to get into girls' pants, because girls get all wet when they come here, but they start imagining they're living with you and you're going to have babies, and you know, you can really ham it up, right? You can sit on the baby things, you know, and you can really ham it up and take her straight home. She'll be all stoked, trust me on that. But the thing is that that's fine for one day, but do you want to live in a situation like, do you want to live in a house that's designed, the purpose of the house is to have a family? You know, that's what the purpose of all houses are designed in the West for. They're basically, you can see what everybody's doing here. It's all couples. Everybody's coming here because they want to have a baby. It's like, it's so natural, right? Because the girl shows the guy what it's like, you know, and then the guy's like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do as a man, right? You know, because the things in your house, the things in the design of your house, all this stuff, it subconsciously affects you. You don't think it does, but it does. It does. Because you think, this is what life's about. You know, this is what I'm supposed to do. The purpose of my life as a guy. The purpose of my life is to, you know, be a good man and to do whatever guys do, right? Which is pretty much, you know, support babies, support women, you know, use desks, use things. These are things that we're supposed to, you know, like, I don't know, I can explain it, but you need to take what I think, the way to do life, okay, is to think about it from the very fucking beginning. Like, what do you care about? Don't look at IKEA like, what do they have, right? You know, that's what people, this is the way people do. They walk through here and they say, what do they have? It's kind of like the way people look at IKEA. It's kind of like the way that most people look at a restaurant. They get the menu, right? And the menu says, well, we have chicken, we have this, we have that. And they look at all the things on the menu and they pick, well, of all these foods that are in the menu, which one do I want to eat right now, right? And then with housing, it's the same kind of thing. It's like, okay, where could I put this? Do I need this? You know, they're looking at all this stuff. But the problem with that thinking is what happens is society has designed a shit life for you, a shit future, full of shit things, full of work, full of slavery. So the only way you can avoid it is by thinking. You have to do the hard work of thinking. You have to think, what do I want in a house? Like, forget any idea of what you need in a house. Like, essentially what I think the way to do it, the way I do it is like, I start with nothing. I literally start with an empty, I don't even want to start with an empty room because I actually want to design it myself. Because I don't even like the design of houses because they're usually designed for children. They're designed for families, they're designed for women, they're designed for children. They're not made the way that I think and the way that I want my life to be, right? So I think of this, like when I walk into a house, what do I want? Well, I want a place that I can take a girl and I can fuck her good, right? So I might want some furniture that is made for that, right? There's a lot of different furniture you can buy that it's like basically made for sex, right? It's like for seduction. Like the shape of the couch is for basically pounding chicks into the pavement, right? That kind of furniture is good, and that kind of thinking is much better than this kind of mindless family thinking that you have with most people. You know, most people, they don't even think, like their brain doesn't even work. I want to show you this because this is the kind of wall that I like. I like a wall like this, and I like a floor exactly the same as this. So it's like a concrete that doesn't have any. You don't need to paint it. You know, you don't have to do anything to it. You don't have to clean it. It's basically, you know, it's it's that kind of bare concrete. That's what I like. I like bare concrete. And the reason why is because bare concrete is awesome because it never gets old, it never gets dirty, it never needs to be cleaned, it never needs to be dusted. I mean, in very extreme cases, it would need to be wiped or something. But you want the most, in my opinion, you want the simplest house with the least amount of labor, right? So you want to set your life up so that you don't have a lot of work to do. Like, I don't want to have any chores. That's a really important thing with my house. The whole design of the house, from the beginning to the end, is for the things that I care about. And I do not give a fuck what society thinks at all. So if society thinks I'm supposed to have this, I'm supposed to have that, you know, in the house in order to be a good guy or something, it's like, or I'm supposed to have plants in the house, or I'm supposed to have, I don't know, paint on the walls, I'm supposed to have drywall on the walls. I don't want any of that shit. I want concrete on the floor. Basically, I want a house that you can hose down, you know, so that it's so simple inside that if I wanted to, I could just almost hose it down, like especially the kitchen. I'd like to be able to hose down the kitchen, you know, just kind of like have a huge drain in the middle and then have a concrete floor and a concrete cabinets or, you know, like, you know, that type of metal or concrete where it's very, very durable, almost like a heavy-duty restaurant, you know, that has the, you know, the serious, you know what I mean, like the stainless steel concrete look, right? So that the house is I don't want to ever spend my weekends, ever. Okay, you guys, this is one of my things. I don't want to spend a fucking hour keeping my house up. I don't know about you guys. I know a lot of guys, they think it's normal. No fucking way for me. And how you do that is not by being a slob. And that's the thing. I think most people, they think, okay, either I can be a slob and not clean my house, or I can be like a good man, right, and keep the fucking place, you know, mow the lawn on Saturdays and wash the cars on Sundays and fucking, you know, cut the grass and do all this shit. No. I have gone down that road before, and it is a very bad road to go down. Instead of that, what you want to do is what I do, and I'm always perfecting it. Like I've never perfected the MGTOW housing design yet. Although I would like to do it, have an architect make the perfect MGTOW apartment, right? I think here's the things you want to keep in mind. One is never look at what society offers as far as what you should put in your house, okay? I like to look at the outside, like for example, like this here. Here's concrete, right? Why isn't this inside the house? I don't understand. Why not? This is fucking great. You can get it all wet, it can rain, it can fucking, you can have a leak, it doesn't matter, it just goes all over the floor, it doesn't matter, it moves around. You can have a big old fucking drain. You know, I like this kind of like metal thing bolted down. You know, this is the kind of stuff I want more inside my house. It's like my house, the inside of the house looks more like the outside of most people's houses, right? So like here's a concrete bench, right? This is great, right? Never wears out, never gets old, never needs to be really clean. Maybe a light wipe down or something, you know? Doesn't matter. You know, women will spend their whole lives like critiquing your house and telling you how to live, and families, everybody tells you how to live, but I want like a garage. I want to live in like a garage kind of thing with a very, I love to cook and I like food. So to me, like having like some really high quality cooking utensils and, you know, Chinese wok, a very nice oven, German oven, things like that I like to have because I think that's important because health is super important, right? Most women eat totally shit food. So even though they spend all this time and money on houses, they don't get anything for it. Like they end up with shitty food. They end up wasting like their whole life, like doing errands and doing fucking chores and cleaning and you know, that's why guys are henpecked. Guys are henpecked because women design the house and the house requires endless labor to keep it up. That's the truth. If I design a house, there's nothing to do. Like my house, like the girls are always kind of like, oh, like I don't need any girls' help because I've designed my life so simply that there's nothing to clean, there's nothing to take care of. Like it's just like, it's very, very simple. I mean, I got my MacBook and my phone and, you know, my house is like super fucking simple. And doesn't require any painting, doesn't require any upkeep, you know, doesn't, and you know, the truth is, it's not just about the work, it's the mind clutter. It's the fucking mind clutter, man. Your mind is full of all this bullshit people put in your house, that women put in your house. It fills your mind. It creates its own like ecosystem of bullshit where you're just like running around replacing things, buying things, you know. So I recommend, if you're in a shitty house full of stuff, just lease it out to somebody else. Just do some kind of Airbnb or something and go to a whole new house. Start from the very beginning. The way I like to think about it is like this. I like to think about one of the best seduction designs that I know of is a hotel. So a hotel doesn't have much. There's not much to do. The only thing to do is to get on the bed. You know, you come in, the bed, you know, takes up most of the room. There's a little bit of space around it, and then there's a bath. You know, there's really not much to do in a bed. My house I had the most, you know, I talked often about, you know, fucking a lot of women. Like my apartment that I fucked most of those women in was so simple that there was, when you came in the front door, there was nothing to do. The only thing to do was to go to sleep, fuck, you know what I mean? Or just like, there was nothing else to do. Like there was, what happens with most houses is they're so big and they have so much space that it's unnecessary and filled with unnecessary goods, that what happens is that the girl comes in and then she walks far away from you. And then you have to almost like approach her again inside your own house, because the whole house is designed, it's not even designed, the house is mindlessly fucking cobbled together with years of feminist and women's stupid ideas about what should be in a house. That's what's in your house. That's the design. Why is there fucking like the little bedrooms for kids? Like, who said that you wanted kids? Like, who fucking, you know what I mean? Like, why are they, you know, like, why is this, the whole thing is designed, it's just retarded, you know. And I like tough things, I like guy things. I want to hear your ideas, guys, like what you guys want in a house, you know. Like, what do you want? You know, one thing I do want is I want a great place to work with really, really fast Wi-Fi. I don't want any dead spots of Wi-Fi in my house. And I don't want any extra space. I don't want any fucking bullshit. I don't want any, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want any extra rooms I'm not using. I know what I want. I want to sleep. I want to fuck. I want to eat. And I want to make money. Okay, those are the things I want out of a house. Sleep, fuck, make money, and eat. And I want to do each one of those. I want to think from scratch, from the very beginning, what do I want? How do I want to do this? Right? To me, the most important fuck is the first fuck. If you're gonna fuck a girl, it's the very first one where you're trying to seduce her. Right? So, when you come in the house, it has to be well designed to seduce her, because after you've seduced her once, it's easy to do it again. Right? So, the second time, third time doesn't matter. So it's all about the very first time. Once you've gotten a taste of that pussy, you're in. You know, she's gonna give it to you again. That's the way girls are. So, you know, you want to get that first time. So the design has to somehow be good for that. And like I said, one good way is to have like a hotel room design, or Japanese love hotel design for your house, for your when they come into the room. But there are many other ways you could do it. I have a couple of thoughts. Like one of my ideas. This is a little bit out there. I don't really recommend this one. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. But one idea I had this morning when I was thinking about this podcast is, you know, have you ever seen like Alice in Wonderland? Like there's these like little doors that like are like 1/3 the size of a regular door. You know, you kind of like creep down into the door. Girls love those kind of doors. I don't know why, but like in Tokyo, there's like an Alice in Wonderland store, and the girls love it. They're just like lining up outside to go in these little doors, right? And I'm just thinking something playful like that when you first come in the house might be a good idea. It might be a very good idea, because you want to get the girl in a playful mood, right? But either way, the main point of the house is not seduction. The main point is all your other stuff: making money, sleeping, eating. So think about what you want. For myself, if I'm just going to put it into a nutshell, I'm going to say that I want a kick-ass kitchen that can be showered down, can be hosed down, right? I want some fucking solid cabinets, right? I want a counter that's like really solid, like a work counter almost, but it's a kitchen, right? So I want it really, really solid, so I can cut vegetables on it. Nothing falls off the side. I don't have to balance shit on there. I don't like to have like plasticky weird things on top. Like I wouldn't mind having these kind of tiles on the cabinet, so that I'm cutting on these too. You know, so I have a cutting board on top of these, right? Basically, they're washable. There's no color. There's no cleaning necessary, right? Then for sleep, like I said, I want a nice, quiet room, right? I want a quiet place. I want a dark, quiet place. I don't need a lot of rooms in my bedroom, and I don't need a big bedroom. You know, one possible alternative is to have black curtains. You know, so that I can have black when I want it, or I can have windows. That's the other alternative. Depends on how you want to do it. But the number one thing, never forget, the number one thing is sleeping. If you don't sleep well, you get unhealthy. Your life gets really bad really fast. People get cancer. All kinds of bad things happen when people don't sleep well. So a house has to be very good for sleeping. So you want your house to be good for that. So, and then making money. So you want like a place that you can take, people, for like say a business meeting at your house, right? Saying you want to have super fast internet. You want to have some kind of a nice desk that doesn't require a lot of work, and you don't want a lot of bullshit on your desk. You want a nice, clean, like frill-free, no frills, basic fucking desk. That is like, for me, I like a nice 2-3 inch thick wood desk. So it's really fucking simple. Next thing for the kitchen. I don't want. Okay, this is one thing I mentioned before, but what I don't like is I don't understand why people don't even think about this shit. But like, when you go to the cabinets and there's always doors in the cabinets, I don't want cabinets. I don't want anything hidden. If I have anything hidden in my house, then I just shouldn't, if I'm hiding, who am I hiding it from, right? So the cleaning, I have a very simple life. So if you look at my cleaning stuff, I have very few cleaning things. I have like good multi-purpose cleaning shit, right? Bleach, right? I use clothing detergent for almost anything. Clothing detergent works great for toilets. It works great for floors like this. It works great to clean your car. It works great for your clothes. It works great for taking stains off of shoes. You know, so like laundry detergent is very, very good for me. I can use it for almost everything. Laundry detergent and then bleach. Bleach is good because anytime I get a stain in anything, it's like very powerful, right? So keep it simple. So I don't have a lot of cleaners, right? I just got a few. That's it. And then those can be on a shelf, right? And then what do I need? I need rags. I need a couple of towels, right? I don't need many of this shit. I don't need 10 different sizes of towels. I need one big towel and maybe, I don't know, like a dish towel for washing dishes, you know? Yeah. And I need a nice place. Here's what people don't think about. Towels get moldy, right? So I need a place that there's a nice wind or there's a nice breeze where I can dry my towel so that the thing fucking dries. Because one of my pet peeves is towels that get all like wet and you always have to wash them because they get dirty. Towels hardly ever get fucking dirty, you guys. If you take a towel and you lay it here on the floor in the sun, that thing is going to be clean for a long time. You can take a shower for like probably 30 days easily and use the same fucking towel. It's not a big deal. The reason why everybody fucking spends their whole life washing shit is because they don't dry stuff properly, right? You know, dry shit, man. Have a well thought out house that makes goddamn sense, right? You know, it's like, keep it simple. Let the wind go through. Let the sun come in, right? Be, you know, like I said, like think from the very beginning about what you really need, what you need. Don't just come in here and buy a bunch of cleaners and buy a bunch of like, the other thing I kind of hate is specialty things where I have a lot of specialty shit. Like I got specialty this, specialty that. And then what happens is more specialty stuff leads to more specialty stuff, you know? I'll give you an example. This isn't a housing example, but like the other day I had this like rash under my nuts, right? And I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? I'm like, what the fuck is this rash? And I couldn't figure out what it was. And I was gonna go to the doctor. I was like, fuck the doctor. I said, I bet this shit comes out with alcohol. So I went down and got some rubbing alcohol. And sure enough, got rid of the whole thing. I don't know, it was a pretty bad rash too. It was really itchy. It was going up my ass and everything. But the main thing is, I could have gone to the doctor, got some specialty fucking cream, and I actually, for the fun of it, I actually walked into this pharmacy, asked them what I should use, and they said I should use, you know, this cream that comes in these tiny little things like this big around, you know, like just tiny little 2-inch little things. It costs like, you know, $10, and I would use like fucking 10 of them to get rid of this rash, right? Instead, I get a fucking huge bottle of alcohol, which costs $1, and when I put it on the rash, I knew it was working because it burned like a motherfucker. And then I got rid of it. Fucking it was gone in like 3 days. So, you know, there's a lot of simple things in life. Most things in life are simple. I remember my teacher, my chemistry teacher in high school. We made soap, you know, and then he said to us, he said, you look at this, guys, this is soap. He goes, everything else that you see in the store, the liquid soap, the this, that's just soap like this with a bunch of stuff added to it. He goes, but all you need is soap, you know, and I love that teacher. That was such a great, simple idea. It was a lump of white soap, and that's what soap is. That's all I want in my house is a fucking lump of white soap. I don't, you know, now, like I said, there is one exception, and that's laundry detergent, because a lump of white soap doesn't work well in a machine, and it doesn't work as well on a floor like this, and cleaning up stains and things like that. So, but for my body, I use fucking bar soap with no fragrant. I wash my hair with it. I've washed my hair with bar soap like for 30 years, and my hair is fucking fine. My hair is nice. There's nothing wrong with my fucking hair, and my body's clean. I have one bar of soap. I don't have any conditioner in my bathroom. There's no extra soap. There's no hand soap. There's no body soap. There's no hair soap. There's bars of soap, and I buy a whole package of them for like $1.50. I get like 4 bars, and they last me forever. And they're nice too because it's easy to see when they need replacing because you can see that the bar is getting smaller, right? It's getting worn out, right? And then I have like a whole stack of them, so I just go get another one, right? You know, this is the kind of thinking. This is what you want. This is really MGTOW thinking. Don't let yourself, if you can be as MGTOW as you want, but if your house is like a fucking Girl Scout fucking den, it's gonna suck. It's going to be too complicated. You're going to be like running around, and the thing is, you don't even give a shit about this stuff. That's the thing. Like women, they care about this stuff, but men, we don't care. You know, you're running around doing errands, cleaning things, fixing things, replacing things. For what? You don't give a shit. You don't even give a shit, right? You don't want to even do any of that stuff, right? So think from the beginning, think simple. Your life matters more than your thoughts. The structure of your life, structuring your life to leave yourself as much free time as possible, to give you the best chance to fuck, to make money, to sleep, right? These will open up all new things in your mind and in your life, because you will find yourself with free time. And also you'll find yourself using your logical brain instead of copying and being a fucking sheep in life. Cutting these things out of your life allows you to think for yourself, and it will give you an enormous satisfaction. I'm telling you, this is no joke. This stuff I'm talking about in this episode is serious stuff. And it sounds really simple, but when you do it, you'll find yourself like just realizing who you are in your daily life and what matters to you. And you'll start looking at other people like, why is their life so complicated? Like when I look at people that commit suicide, it's often over like their life is so complicated. Like it's like they have to do this, and they have to go to this meeting because their wife said this, and their girlfriend said this, and their dad said this, and they have to do this, and they don't go surfing because, you know, on the weekend because they promised somebody they would do this dumb thing they don't care about and become a member of this group they don't want, and they have this badge on their fucking shirt because they think that somebody else thinks that it's important, and they wear these clothes because of this, or they wear this, I don't know, like their clothes, their life, their house, their car, everything is designed for somebody else, and they've gone along with it without thinking. You know, don't do that. Start simple. Start fucking simple. Start with what and do not worry about what anybody else thinks, because I'm telling you, here's the upside. The upside is this. I'll end on this. Is when you design your life to be a man from the ground up, 1, you will have more creative ideas. 2, you'll make more money. And 3, your friends will be like immediately drawn to you, like, because it's like it's like the Matrix, man. That's what I see. Like IKEA is like the fucking Matrix. You're living in the Matrix and you don't know how simple it could be, right? You know how simple life is based on what guys actually care about, right? You know, so like, and then also I found that girls find it very, very attractive when they come to my place and they see how simply I live. Now they try to complicate it right away. They try to get involved and start buying things, but they also look at it and they're like, whoa, this guy is like different than the other guys. Like he's not like lost in space, this guy. He's a logical, creative thinker who only does things that make sense. He doesn't just go along with things because everybody else is doing them. And also he creates your mind like more simple thinking and more direct thinking, and it helps you to solve problems better. Anytime that you're thinking better and you're cutting unnecessary things out, cutting out unnecessary chores, freeing up time, and then also getting the confidence and you really gain a confidence when you take control of your life. That's what I'm talking about here. Taking control of your fucking life. When you do that, it'll give you a confidence as a man that is a great, great feeling. You know? And then that will lead to good things. It will lead to good things. And then if you ever do add anything complicated in your house, right? Let's say you know, as time goes by, you're going to realize you want one really complicated thing in your house. Well, you'll do it, but you'll know why you're doing it. The reason why you're doing it is because you really care about this thing, right? It's okay to have something complicated. It's okay to have something that takes a lot of time. That's fine. But it's only the things that you care about. It's the mindless shit I'm talking about. The mindless shit that you need hand cream and you need lotion for this. I use sunscreen for everything. If I ever need hand cream, I use sunscreen. Because I use sunscreen because I'm out in the sun a lot. I don't want to get sunburned, surfing and being in the ocean, right? And being in Thailand and just generally like, you know, I don't want to get sunburned, so I have sunscreen. So I use that as fucking hand cream if I ever need it, which is probably once every 2 months or whatever. You know, I might need some hand cream, whatever. My hands feel dry. I'll just use some sunscreen, you know? I won't go buy any fucking hand cream. I was never going to use it again. I'll be not for another 2 or 3 months when the season changes, right? So you'll find yourself solving problems quicker. And also when it's time to move, when it's time to change, you'll obviously be like so much more. You can, you know, the second time and the third time and the fourth time that you go through the process that I'm talking about here, where you start to rethink your life from the ground up, from the molecular level. You know, what do you want in your life? What do you need? Why are you buying this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing anything? Why do you have anything in your life? You know, you think about it from the ground level up. What will happen is each time you do it, you'll get better and better and better at structuring your life as a strong man with only the things that you need. And when you do change something, you're gonna go, wow, I've really changed. Like I'm really, this thing I'm really into, whatever it is. You'll be like, and then you'll realize, and then it's in your house, it'll be really obvious too. You know, people will say, oh, you're really into, you know, whatever it is, you know, motorcycle riding or something. They'll see that that's the only like luxury you have. It's like motorcycle stuff, you know, and that's cool because that's what you're into, right? And then as you don't want a motorcycle anymore, get it the fuck out of your house. Don't let yourself just fall into this maze of fucking, I don't know, endless fucking foggy thinking and not thought out and hung over and, you know, expensive fucking bullshit. You know, it's like clean, man. Is when something happens, you change, you move, you replace, next, and your life moves forward. There you go. Any ideas you guys have? I'd love to hear them. This is like the first episode on this. I've never heard a MGTOW episode on this, but I think this is super important. I think your house, your garage, your kitchen is fucking important because it shapes who you are. It shapes who you are. Okay, go home, look at your house, right? Listen to this thing again. Look at your house. Look at all the bullshit in your house and think, how much of this stuff did I decide to get? Do I need this fucking piece of shit? You know what I mean? Is this thing even like, does any guy need this bullshit? No. And then think about everything and then go about, you know, take your time and then go about structuring your life in a way that makes more sense to you. And it'll make you a better MGTOW, it'll make you a better man, and you'll save a lot of money too, because you'll realize how much stuff you spend money on that you don't care about. So there you go, Ronin Man signing off. We're gonna go back to IKEA because we're buying a bunch of furniture for my friends invested in a few houses, so we're gonna help him. Get some furniture. So that's why I'm here actually. So thanks guys for watching, and thanks for subscribing, and thanks for all the comments. All right, have a good one. Friday night from Bangkok, Ronin Man signing off.